Hello, Nicole Vincent here. I'm so excited to be with you for our weekly essential oil education call. Today we're going to be talking about doTERRA's LifeLong Vitality Pack. And this is our foundational nutritional supplements that I feel everyone can benefit from. Now, I wanted to talk about these today to really create a foundation, because I think a lot of times when we get excited about essential oils, we neglect sometimes those foundational things, right? Because essential oils, they help with a lot of things, but they're not going to provide essential vitamins and minerals and fatty acids that our body needs to function. And that's where the LifeLong Vitality Pack comes in. Now, I wanted to share my experience and my story with the LifeLong Vitality Pack because I think it's applicable to a lot of people out there, and maybe you can relate. So when I first started with essential oils, I was all about the oils. I didn't want to hear about supplements. I didn't want to hear about anything else but oils. I was all about the oils. I was so excited about the oils. And about maybe 9 or 10 months into using essential oils and changing different things in my life, reducing toxins, cleaning out my medicine cabinet, cleaning out my cleaning cabinet, my mom actually had an extra box because I was just like, I'm not going to spend the money on that. I take vitamins that I had from my supermarket and my bulk club vitamins. It was this giant thing, and I took it every day just because I knew I was supposed to take a vitamin, right? It's like, there's nothing different. It's just a vitamin's a vitamin. But my mom had an extra box and she sent it to me. And so I had no excuse, right? I had this free box of vitamins that I was going to try out, right? I had been teaching about essential oils for about 9 months, and I needed to test this out to see if it was something that was worth sharing. And so at this time, I had helped a lot of my ailments through using essential oils and reducing different other over-the-counter and pharmaceutical things that I had been using. And I'd seen a lot of benefit, right? I was still struggling with overall fatigue, some aches and pains, some inflammation, and just having a good energy level. And so I just thought that's how I was wired. That's how I was that's how I was. And so I started with these vitamins, and I said, okay, I'm going to give them, I think I said I'll give it 4 weeks. And as I started with these vitamins, I didn't notice the difference right away. I really was just like, okay, well, I've committed, I'm going to do this. And within about 2 weeks, I started noticing a difference. And I believe I was only taking a half dose, which is 2 of each. And at this time, the things that I noticed, now I have ADD, and I started noticing that I was able to stay focused. I was not as distracted. I was able to remain focused on what I wanted to focus on. I wasn't having scattered thoughts as much. I wasn't feeling like there were a ton of things coming at me and that my brain was like a mall food court on Black Friday. That's how I described my brain prior to LLV. And it was amazing. I was like, oh, my brain actually feels calmer and it feels better. And so that was the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed is that my mood was better. Depression is something that I have battled with since my early teen years. And I noticed that I wasn't feeling as depressed. And so that was really exciting. I was feeling a lot more hopeful. I was feeling a lot more just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, right? I was feeling happier. The next thing I noticed is that I was having a lot less aches and pains. And most of my pain was in my back. I was having, I had a vertebrae that kept twisting. And so I was having to go get regular chiropractic adjustments just to keep that vertebrae in place and to keep my pain under wraps. But as I was taking these vitamins, my back was not hurting. And I didn't notice how much they were helping until I skipped about 3 days. I was a long weekend. My kids were all home. My schedule was off. And I skipped the vitamins for 3 days after taking them consistently for 2 weeks. And I was blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, this is how I used to feel. Like, you forget that fast. And so from then on, I have been religious about taking the LLV, and it has helped so much in how I feel. And so that's why I'm so passionate about teaching about this. And that's why I wanted to spotlight this as one of our first things to look at, because I feel that we need our oils a lot less when our body has what it needs. And we'll talk about how foundational this is in our health and in our just well-being, is to make sure our body has the right things. Because when our body doesn't have the right things, it has to compromise, right? It has to limp along. And we don't want to live a life where we're limping along, right? We want to live a life full of vitality, full of excitement, full of energy, and full of goodness. And that's what these supplements can really help with. Now, there are a few other supplements that I might chime in if we have time, that I feel are very foundational as well. But I really wanted to spotlight the LifeLong Vitality Pack today, because I really feel that, especially for those of you that are sharing essential oils and are sharing doTERRA with other people, you have people coming to you with health concerns. Guys, so many things can be remedied or reduced through use of the LifeLong Vitality, because a lot of conditions are just because we have deficiencies. We have mineral deficiencies. We have vitamin deficiencies. We have essential fatty acid deficiencies. And so as we remedy those deficiencies, those ailments go away. It's amazing. So let's start off with the LifeLong Vitality Pack. Now, the LifeLong Vitality Pack, and I didn't have an empty box, so let me turn these around so you can see the nice, pretty labels. I actually gave my box away, so I don't have a box, but these come in a nice box. It's 3 supplements, and we're going to talk about each of these, what they are, how they benefit you, and why you need them in your life. Okay, so there's 3 supplements. Now, the first one we're going to talk about is the Microplex VMZ. Now, this is the food nutrient complex, otherwise known as a multivitamin. Now, something that you will notice is a lot of multivitamins, at least the multivitamins that I was taking before I started taking the LifeLong Vitality Pack, and I was religious about taking my vitamins. I took them every day, and the only thing I really had to show, I didn't notice a difference when I took them and when I didn't take them. The only thing I had to show was some neon color P, right? And it's just because they put so many extra things in those vitamins that can actually be harmful for us. And so you'll notice with the Microplex, it is a powdered capsule. So you can actually open this before my daughter could take, my youngest daughter could take pills. I would open this and put this for her into a smoothie with some chocolate powder and to help her get that nutrient. But you can actually open it, and it's powder. It doesn't taste great, but it is amazing. So with the Microplex, now what this is going to do is it's going to have your essential vitamins and your essential minerals. It is going to have an appropriate amount, which is huge, because a lot of times if you go to your supermarket or you go to your health food store, you're going to see ridiculous amounts, like 1,000% of the daily recommended value. That's not good for you, okay? There are certain vitamins that are called water-soluble vitamins, and those you can overdo and your body can process it, and there's usually not a negative problem from having too much of that vitamin. There's other vitamins called fat-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin D, that if you have too much, it actually can build up in your fat cells and create a toxicity. And so you want to make sure you're taking appropriate amounts. And doTERRA, the Microplex, is appropriate amounts. Now, the full dose is 2 capsules in the morning with a meal, and then 2 capsules in the evening with a meal. Now, that is recommended for anybody that is medium to large build. They recommend about 120 pounds or greater. That would be your dosing. If you are under 120 pounds, or you have like maybe a teenager or a preteen, my 10-year-old who is about 70 pounds takes 1 of each a day. I would say anywhere from about 70 pounds to about 120 pounds, taking 1 of each a day is going to be an appropriate amount, or 2 of each a day, okay? So you can kind of play around with the dosing. That's one thing that I actually love about the LifeLong Vitality Pack, is you can really customize your dosing. Maybe you need more of the essential fatty acids, and less of the Microplex because you're doing great. Maybe you drink green smoothies for 2 meals a day and you are getting all these nutrients and all these minerals and all that good stuff, but you need more essential fatty acids. So you can actually play around with the dosing and figure out what works best for you. I love that. So the dosing on this is, again, 2 capsules a meal in the morning, 2 capsules with a meal in the evening. Now, I actually prefer to take, I actually take 1 in the morning with my breakfast. And then I actually take 1, I take my vitamins right before I go to sleep. So literally, like as I'm laying down, the last thing I do is I pop my supplements in, drink a bunch of water, and go to sleep. And that works really, really well for me. That might not work well for you. You can play around with it and see what works great. But what this is these are actually bioavailable. What that means is that your body is actually able to recognize, oh, that's some vitamin K that you're giving me. Let me use that. I know how to use that. I recognize it. I'm able to process it. Instead of it going like, I'm not sure really what this is because it's synthetic, right? That's what a lot of those hard-pressed vitamins are. They're synthetic, and our body doesn't always recognize synthesized vitamins and minerals. And so we want to make sure that they are from whole food sources and that our body is going to recognize them, and that's what we get in the microplex. Now, some other great things about the microplex that you want to be aware of is that we use folate, not folic acid, which is very important, especially for those of you that might have the MTHFR gene mutation. If you don't know what that is, then don't worry about it. But those of you that have that know how important folate is. And that's what we have here in our microplex. We also have a bunch of different trace minerals as well, which is so important for cellular communication. And those get very depleted if we take medications, if we are on electronics a lot, and if we are dehydrated. And so making sure you have those trace minerals is super important. Another great thing about this blend is that it has what's called a whole food blend. It includes kale, dandelion leaf, parsley, kelp, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, and spinach. And so it has this whole food complex in there that you're getting some of those great properties as well. It also has a light enzyme blend. And enzymes are super important for our body, not only to digest our food properly, but to assimilate and use nutrients. And without proper enzymes, our bodies cannot absorb and use the nutrients that we are introducing into our digestive tract. So super important to have that in there. And it has a tummy tamer blend that helps keep your stomach at ease, that you're not going to be upset, that your stomach's not going to be upset. If you have taken this in the past, make sure that you are taking it with food if your stomach is sensitive. If that didn't work for you, maybe try and taking it on an empty stomach. Everybody's a little bit different, so you can play around and see what works best for you. So that is our multivitamin, vitamins and minerals, and a few enzymes as well. So I love this. This is the microplex. The next step in our lifelong vitality is the Z omega. Or this is a Greek letter, so that's why you say the Z sound. But this is our essential fatty acid blend, your omega-3 blend, right? Now, the great thing about this is that it has both sea and land omega-3s, which gives a nice diversity of sources for omega-3s. Now, if you prefer a vegan, completely land-based, we do have a vegan formula of this. It's VE omega. And so you can purchase that option, and it has a lot of similar values. They're pretty much the same. There are a little bit of difference just because some stuff you can only get from marine-based sources. So just keep that in mind. But what we have in this omega-3 blend is going to be great EPA, DHA, other omega-3s, alpha-linoleic acid. I can never say these things right. So LAA, and then SDA and GLA. So you've got all these different fatty acids that are vital for our body to deal with inflammation, to have proper circulatory and neurological health. Our body needs essential fatty acids, and we eat a diet typically that is very high in omega-6 fatty acids. And so the omega-3s are going to help bring that into balance. So this is super, super vital, especially if you have inflammation, especially if you have neurological conditions, especially if you have cardiovascular issues. You definitely need the omega-3s. It also helps with cholesterol as well, to help reduce and balance those cholesterol levels. So other things that are in this omega-3 supplement, and I'm going to show you how little these are, because a lot of times you'll see the fish oil capsules and they're huge. And these are nice and little, and they're red, and they get their red from a red algae called astaxanthin. And astaxanthin is amazing. It is very, very high in antioxidants and inflammatory properties. And it is just, there's lots of other benefits with the astaxanthin, but those are the primary benefits. It's going to help reduce inflammation, and it's going to help with detoxification, removing those free radicals from our system. Other things that are going to be in this blend are pomegranate seed oil, which we also see that in our new yarrow palm oil, and I love that. You're also going to have some lutein, some xanthan, which is very good for your, lutein and the xanthan are great for your eye health, and then lycopene. And so those are nice fat-soluble vitamins that our body needs. And it's so important to take this with a fat, right? So our body can absorb it. It also has an essential oil blend that includes clove, frankincense, thyme, cumin, orange, peppermint, ginger, and German chamomile. And these are essential oils that help us daily. Now, they're in a very, very low amount. So if you are concerned about overdoing with your essential oil internal consumption, don't worry. It's very minute. It's just enough to be therapeutic and help you on your way. Now, with these, again, the full dose is 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, and you can adjust that as needed. So maybe you got your blood work back and your cholesterol is high and you want to reduce that without taking medication. Then what you could do is you could actually increase your omega-3 intake. That will typically reduce your bad cholesterol levels. So just something to keep in mind. If you are worried about blood thinning, if that's a concern because you are already on blood thinning medication, you might want to take it easy with this. You might just take one a day, see how you respond, because omega-3s, just as one of their characteristics, is they do thin the blood a little bit. So you want to keep that in mind if you are on blood thinning medications. But the Z Omega is such an amazing supplement. I love this one. Take that daily. Now, the next thing is our Alpha CRS, and this is part of the LifeLong Vitality as well. This is our cellular vitality complex. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is more foundational than this. So I love the Alpha CRS, and it is something that I take a few times a week. I do not take this one daily. I take these every day, though. Religiously, without fail, I take these every day. And if you just, and I'll talk about why the Alpha CRS, you might want to leave that out for some people that are a little sensitive. But you can actually get just these two together as the daily nutrient pack. So if the Alpha CRS does not resonate with you, it does not benefit you, then you can leave that out and just get the daily nutrient pack, which has just these two. But the Alpha CRS is an amazing supplement. Now, this is the highest priced out of the 3 supplements because of its ingredients. It's like basically having a whole super grain, super power, super fruit, super vegetable salad condensed in a capsule. Now, what the problems that arises is that you might have people that do have sensitivities to some of the ingredients. So I would recommend, if you have anybody or you yourself has struggled with taking the LLV, either it gives you digestive distress or it might make you feel a little ugh, then you might want to leave the Alpha CRS out, especially if it's manifesting as a digestive distress. Because it is a great supplement, but it doesn't jive with everybody's system. So what it is it's a ton of antioxidants in a little capsule. Now, this one is a little bit smaller than the Microplex. It's going to be this pretty yellowish tan colored capsule. And you're going to have a lot of botanicals in here. We've got boswellia resin, which we know is frankincense. We've got milk thistle, lots of herbs, green tea extract, pomegranate fruit extract, pineapple, turmeric, grape seed, sesame seed, pine bark, and then you've got cellular energy blend as well. So you have ALC, ALA, CoQ10, Qcerin, ginkgoa, and you've got a temitarabulid that is also in the Microplex. So you've got all these botanicals, all these antioxidants in this nice little pill. Now, what do we need antioxidants for? We need them to help reduce inflammation. We need to help them, we need them to help remove free radicals and toxins from our body. And we need them to help us have cellular energy. So I would recommend starting out with all three of them. See how you feel. Most people feel awesome, but if you're not feeling awesome or you're not getting the desired effect that you're wanting, then I would recommend leaving out the Alpha CRS, because there could be an ingredient in there that just doesn't jive with your system. Now, a lot of people do feel great on this. And for me, I just need it here and there. I don't need it every day. And I have to be careful, because if I have too much, I do have a little digestive distress, but that's just how my body responds, and that's okay. But this is a great, great supplement. Helps you with energy, helps with inflammation, helps you with detoxification. Now, I would recommend, guys, as you are using the LLV, you want to make sure that you are drinking adequate amounts of water. Now, why do we need extra amounts of water when we are using these supplements? Because they are going to detoxify our body naturally, and they are going to release toxins. And if we are not having enough water to flush that, what is released out, then we're gonna feel like poop. We're gonna feel like crap. We're gonna have a headache. We're gonna have digestive distress. We're gonna feel flu-like with aches and pains and just feeling, ugh. Because what's happening is, as we are taking these amazing supplements that are doing what they're supposed to do, they're releasing toxins that need to get excreted from our body. If they're not being able to be excreted because we don't have enough water, then what's going to happen? They're going to resettle in our body, and it's going to create this cesspool. So you want to be drinking enough water. Now, an easy rule of thumb to see if you are consuming enough water, and when I say water, I mean water. I don't mean soda. I don't mean tea, unless it's like an herbal tea. I mean good quality water. Try, if you can, to get more alkaline water. And I'm not a huge fan of the extreme alkaline waters. I like more of the maybe high 7s to 8s as far as alkalinity for water. But you want to drink about 50% of your body weight in ounces. So if you're 150 pounds, you are going to need to drink at least, okay, this is minimum, of 75 ounces of good quality water per day, okay? So keep that in mind. If you are taking these supplements, but you still have a massive soda addiction or coffee addiction, then you are gonna feel like crap, because that caffeine is going to dehydrate you. You're not going to be able to be excreting the toxins that you need to, and you're not gonna feel great. So keep that in mind. Make sure you are drinking enough water. Now, as you're taking these, guys, be consistent. Commit to taking them twice a day. And it's important to split it up so that you're feeding your body throughout the day, right? Most of us cannot just eat one meal and be set for the entire day. There are some people that can. Good for you. But most of us need to feed our body throughout the day. And so that's why it's recommended to spread it out. I take mine again in the morning with my breakfast, and then right before I go to bed at night. If you have a sensitive stomach, I would recommend taking it right in the morning with your breakfast, and then maybe with your lunch or your dinner, depending on which one is your largest meal. And if you are like, the Alpha CRS can really energize you. So if you're noticing that you're taking it in the evening and you're having a hard time falling asleep, then you might want to move that Alpha CRS to maybe with lunch instead of dinner. Not everybody has that effect, but I want you to have a heads up just in case that's how you're feeling. Now, I will tell you that these have helped me, and they do help me sleep so much better. I used to wake up every morning not feeling rested, feeling like I needed a nap immediately. And with the supplements, with this LifeLong Vitality Pack, I am able to wake up feeling rested. I am able to sleep better. I am able to just feel better overall. My mental health is my biggest indicator. If I do miss a day or two, I will feel it. My depression just starts ramping up, and my focus is everywhere. And so it's very important for me and my mental health, especially, to take these. And I really recommend committing to at least 2 weeks. Let your body heal. Let your body figure out what this new fuel is. Let it fill up those deficiencies that you might have had for years. and then be the judge. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you've never purchased the LifeLong Vitality Pack, your first pack, you get 30 days from when you purchased it to take it and try it out and see if you like it. I would recommend before you, if you take it once and you feel like crap, adjust how you're taking it. Play around with it because everybody's body is going to respond differently. And so be willing to test around and experiment a little to see what fits for you. Now, I do have some people that it doesn't matter what they do, this doesn't jive with them, and that is okay. But I would say for 99% of the population, this is a great fit. And be patient. Try it out. More than likely, you're not going to feel something miraculously the first time you take it. You might not feel it the second time you take it or the third time you take it. There are slow and subtle changes that happen, but pay attention to how you're feeling. Pay attention to how you're mentally feeling. Pay attention to your typical aches and pains. Pay attention to how you're sleeping. Pay attention to how your skin and your hair look, because this really, guys, like my hair grows so fast and my skin looks so much better than it used to. And it just, there's subtle changes that you will notice if you're paying attention, but they are subtle. So if you're not paying attention, you're like, it's not that different. I don't feel that different. If you are feeling like, oh, I don't feel that different, stop for 3 or 4 days and see if you notice a difference then. That's for me when I noticed the biggest difference was when I stopped, I didn't take it, and I was like, oh, this is how I used to, this is how I used to feel. And I remembered, because we forget really quick, don't we? I remembered how I used to feel. And so I am so religious about taking my LifeLong Vitality Pack because it makes such a huge difference in how I feel on a daily basis. Now, I want to just touch on real quick about 2 other supplements that doTERRA carries that I feel are foundational for our overall health and well-being. And they are super, we already have them in the lineup, and I've only got 3 minutes left of our 30 minutes, so I'm going to be super quick. It's our Terrazyme and our PB Assist. Now, we touched on enzymes a little bit, that there are a few enzymes in the microplex, but the Terrazyme is going to be a broader spectrum of enzymes. And the enzymes, again, help your body break down the food that you eat. It helps break down the old food that's stuck and clogging up the pipes in your digestive system. And it helps your body assimilate and use the nutrients that you are introducing. So not only the food that we're eating, but the supplements that we're taking as well. And we naturally produce enzymes, most of us, if our system is not compromised. But as we age, as we stress out our body more through introducing toxins, through processed foods, through stress, through environmental toxins, our enzyme production is reduced. And so it's very important that we actually take an enzyme supplement. Now, probiotics are the good guys, the good microbes that we need in our digestive tract. And the PB Assist is phenomenal because it is a 2-capsule system. It has an inner capsule that actually an outer capsule that feeds the inner capsule, and the outer capsule is what breaks apart in your stomach. And then the inner capsule is what's going to break apart in your small intestine, which is where you actually need the microbial culturing to happen. And if we don't have good gut health, if we don't have a good microflora culture in our gut, guys, our brain is going to suffer because we produce, I believe it's 70% of our serotonin in our GI tract. It's crazy. So if your gut is jacked up, your brain is going to be jacked up. So that probiotic is super important to take on a daily basis. So this is what I believe is our foundational health. These are like, you're not going to breathe without these, right? We need these every day in our life. No matter if you are on medication, on vacation, eating well, not eating well, whatever, you need these in your life. And I love these supplements. They have helped me so much. I have a very firm experience and testimony of these products and how much they can benefit our bodies. And I have seen so many people on my team, so many of my clients, my health coaching clients, change their health by taking these supplements. So thank you so much. Try out the LLV. If you haven't tried it before, again, you get that 30-day money-back guarantee. And I promise you it will create positive changes in your health and wellness. Thank you for joining me today. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.